Hello, dear friends. This issue was revealed by the Harlequin and I have researched it. Opinion piece: Chrism Elevation, Rise of Kundalini, Christic Oil of Chrism, Anointing with Chrism, Ascension of the Holy Oil, Holistic View of Spirituality, Thrones of the Spirit in the Body. The Gospel of Philip talks about it. The Pistis Sophia describes the Archons. Let's start. The process of elevation of Chrism and its consecration represents the rise of Kundalini energy according to Dr. Carey, who believed that Christic oil could lead to enlightenment. In the Gnostic tradition, Chrism has an alchemical symbolism. Alchemy seeks to transform the lead of the ordinary being into the gold of the enlightened being. Chrism represents the elixir or philosopher's stone that brings about this internal transformation. Chrism is a consecrated oil, balm, anointing oil, or ointment used in sacraments. In the Roman Orthodox and Anglican churches, the mixture of oil and balm is used as an ointment in the administration of certain sacraments. The process of elevating Christ is part of the Chrism Mass, which is celebrated annually in the Roman Church. This ceremony takes place on Holy Wednesday and is presided over by the bishop, who, who blesses the Holy Chrism and the oils of the sick and catechumens. While for the Roman Church, Chrism is a sacred oil used in sacraments such as baptism and confirmation, for the Gnostics it had a very different meaning and use, framed in their worldview opposed to the Mosaic law. In some Gnostic texts, such as the Acts of Thomas, or the Gospel of Thomas, anointing with chrism or a sweet-smelling ointment replaced baptism as the sacrament of initiation. Gnosis. In Christian Gnosis, chrism has a very different meaning and use than in the Roman Church. The Gnostics had a special sacrament called the bridal chamber, in which, through symbolic actions, souls were married to their angels in the pleroma. During these rituals, consecrated oil was used to anoint the initiate, marking his entry or her entry into a state of higher spiritual understanding. Pleroma means to be full or complete, and is the name that the Gnostics gave to heaven. It is defined as the primordial unity from which all other elements that exist emerge, or, in other words, plenitude. According to Jung, the pleroma is the totality of all opposites. For Gnostics, chrism can symbolize the direct connection with the divine, uniting the individual with the divine spark within themselves. Anointing with oil is a way to recognize and activate this connection, helping the practitioner align with their true spiritual nature. Chrism in Gnosis is a powerful symbol of a spiritual transformation, enlightenment, and connection with the divine. Its ritual and symbolic use reflects the Gnostics' deep longing to transcend the material and reach a higher understanding of reality. Through Chrism, Gnostics seek re-elevation and spiritual awakening. Gnostics held strong ethical opposition to Yahweh as opposed to Christ. This contrasts with the Catholic view of continuity between Old and New Testaments. Sacred texts. In the Gospel of Philip, a Gnostic text discovered in Nag Hammadi, Egypt, chrism is mentioned as an essential element in rituals of salvation and spiritual perfection. The text makes a distinction between water baptism and Christ baptism, the latter being superior and granting a deeper connection to the spiritual realm. In another Gnostic text, the Pistis Sophia, the use of Chrism is linked to the ascension of the soul and its liberation from the evil power of the Archons. Anointing with Chrism helps the soul to remember its divine origin and to overcome obstacles on its path back to wholeness. In Gnosis, Chrism represents spiritual enlightenment. The act of anointing with oil is seen as a form of consecration and purification that opens the mind and the spirit to greater understanding and knowledge of divine reality. This act symbolizes the awakening of the Gnostic, someone who seeks Gnosis, or spiritual knowledge and inner truth. Chrism can also be used in spiritual protection practices. In this context, consecrated oil is applied to protect the individual from negative influences and to heal both body and soul. This practice highlights the connection between the physical and the spiritual, a recurring theme in Gnosticism. Theory. The theory of the Christ oil of the American doctor in chemistry, George Washington Carey, 1845-1944, highlights the importance of internal processes for spiritual development. According to Carey, by preserving and promoting the descent and ascent of this oil within the body, a human being can reach a state of spirituality. In his writings, Carey addresses the concept of Christ oil, sometimes referred to as inner Chrism or Christ within you. Carey uses the analogy of Christ and Chrism to explain the importance of this oil. The term Chrism is related to Christ and has a deep connection. For him, the descent of the oil is similar to the descent of the Christ Spirit into the human being, symbolizing a process of personal enlightenment and redemption. Carey refers to this to alchemical secret oil as an essential substance produced in the brain and down the spine that is crucial for spiritual enlightenment. According to Carey, this substance descends from the pineal and pituitary glands and has a vital role in the spiritual regeneration of the human being. He sees these glands as thrones of the spirit in the body, and the oil they produce has the ability to open spiritual energy centers. The activation of these glands is seen as a crucial step towards spiritual enlightenment. Christ oil is essential in the process of spiritual transformation. As it travels down the spine, the oil is meant to be preserved and not wasted through excess or harmful sexual behavior. Carey maintains that when this oil is brought back to the brain, it has the potential to illuminate consciousness, activate spiritual abilities, and promote regeneration. Carey combines his knowledge of chemistry and anatomy with esoteric concepts to offer a holistic view of human spirituality. His theory of Christic oil sits at the intersection of science and spirituality, proposing that physical well-being and spiritual enlightenment are intrinsically connected through internal processes. Kundalini. By linking Christ oil to enlightenment, Dr. Carey suggests that, like Kundalini energy, the oil has the potential to raise consciousness and facilitate a state of spiritual connection. Both processes reflect the path to transformation and self-knowledge, where energy is elevated and consecrated in a context of spiritual research. The consecration of Chrism, which in some traditions is associated with the raising of spiritual energy, can be seen as a metaphor for the process of activation and raising of Kundalini. The consecration implies a recognition and a connection with the divine, similar to the experience of reaching elevated states of consciousness through the rise of Kundalini. Kundalini energy is considered a vital force that resides at the base of the spine, and when activated, rises through the chakras until it reaches the crown, where a connection with universal consciousness is experienced. It is represented as a coiled snake in the first chakra, the Muladhara. When this energy is awakened, a series of spiritual transformations occur in the individual. The rise of Kundalini involves a journey through the chakras, where each of them is activated and contributes to the elevation of consciousness. Kundalini energy is activated through spiritual practices such as meditation, yoga, or mystical experiences. This awakening can be spontaneous or induced, and is often accompanied by intense sensations such as warmth or pulsations in the spine. As the energy rises, it passes through each of the chakras, which can lead to increased creativity, intuition, and mental clarity. This process can also lead to experiences of mystical consciousness. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.